welcome to the new movie thing show. What the fuck? Is it just me? Yes, everyone's favorite movie reviewer that you always agree with, Steve Zaragoza, is about to review a movie alone. Don't leave. I saw Paranormal Activity, the marked ones, which is kind of like Paranormal Activity 4.5, because there's 4 Paranormal Activity movies, and now the marked ones, and I think there's another one coming out this year as well that is technically going to be Paranormal Activity 5. Make sense? Good. It doesn't make sense to me either. This film was written and directed by Christopher Landon, who's a charming man that I actually met at the screening last night. Just name dropping Christopher Landon. He was a very nice guy. I touched him appropriately. And Christopher Landon actually wrote the screenplay for Paranormal 2, 3, and 4. He's not a newcomer to the Paranormal Activity world. He's had his fingers in the pie. So the movie stars Andrew Jacobs as kind of like our main character, our protagonist in the film, and we follow him through a series of very unfortunate paranormal events as more kind of craziness unfolds in the Paranormal Activity universe. I'd say if you're a fan of the genre, if you've seen the other Paranormal Activity movies, then go and add this to your collection, your brain collection of the Paranormal Activity movies, because if you're interested at all, it does further kind of the story arc of the Paranormal Activity movies. We get more about why the hell this shit's happening, and what is all this stuff, and why, and who, and how, and then we have some very cool, well-placed kind of like morsels about the other movies, which I won't spoil, obviously. If you want to take your girl to a movie, have her hold you tight, and you want to see like a pretty intense build-up of horror and suspense and frightening imagery, then I say go see the marked ones. It kind of does follow the same formula of the other films. You kind of have this found footage thing going on. By the way, the movie takes place in Oxnard, California, which is actually my hometown where I was born and raised. You know, it's funny because the way they portray Oxnard in the movie is very like, there's a lot of gang activity and frightening Hispanics that live there and are ne'er-do-wells, and they get in a lot of trouble, which is 100% accurate. It's actually very accurate. A lot of gang activity in Oxnard. In fact, the street that I grew up on, there would be ambulances and police cars and bullets flying through the windshield of my father's car. This is not a lie. We're doing this found footage thing. We happen upon this unlikely family who lives in the vicinity of a bruja, or a brujeria, which in Spanish means a witch, or at least someone they assume is a witch. And without spoiling too much, living that close to a witch causes some intense problems for this family, and so the whole thing unfolds into this crazy mystery of what's going on, what's happening to these people, who are the marked ones. As far as the scares go, you got a lot of your typical jump scares going on. You've got like some of the really cool, creepy effects, the inanimate objects that have kind of like reactions and scary shit going on that we're used to in the other Paranormal Activity movies. As far as the story goes, I was more engaged in the story of this film than kind of any of the other Paranormal Activity films, from I'd say 2 to this one, because the first Paranormal Activity is fantastic. The others are, you know, whatever, watch them because they're fucking into scary shit. And this one actually did kind of like have a bigger payoff for me. As far as like being physically scared, I was definitely more scared in this movie than any of the other Paranormal movies, excluding 1. And in fact, I think it was like 3 or 4 where I was like, damn it, I really wanted to be scared in these movies, and I wasn't. And in this one, there was like a more organic buildup of tension that I actually appreciated. How it fits into the grand scheme of the Paranormal Activity movies, for me, I would say this is probably my favorite since 1. Maybe it's because it appeals to my kind of like sensibilities a bit more. There's kind of like the whole Hispanic Catholicism kind of like feedery going on just a little bit. There's like kind of like the witchcraft, the religious stuff, the religious artifacts, stuff like that, which I have always found interesting since I grew up Catholic, and so there's that kind of element of it that I was very interested in, so maybe it was that made it more interesting to me. My final thoughts about the movie are, I'm okay with these movies existing. They may not be the greatest movies of all time. They may not be your favorite. You may not like them at all. But like them or not, I think that they're important because there's no other studio doing movies like this. ghost movies, supernatural, kind of playing with the mind, psychological, not always showing you everything, playing with the head a little bit. And I think it's important. The genre needs to live on, the genre needs to survive, and this movie is a prime example of that. So it was actually kind of tough for me to come up with a decision on a score for this. I'm actually going to settle on a 5, a hard 5 out of 10. I'm not the only one that watched and reviewed this film. Rotten Tomatoes users gave it a 67% and critics gave it 58%. And IMDb gave the movie a 5.5 out of 10. So it looks like my score is kind of in line with what kind of people on IMDb are saying and what critics are saying. Thank you guys so much for watching the New Movie Thing show. If you don't want to go out to the movie theaters and watch movies there, I completely understand. You can go to netflix.com/SourceFed and get a whole month of free streaming movies, and you can join us on our movie club show where we talk about movies there and you guys join in. It's a lot of fun. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Steve Zaragoza. Also, please click like and subscribe if you haven't done that already. There's a bunch of cool annotations and things down here, and if you click on them, you might be more entertained. Is that correct grammar? Entertained more.